Hi, everyone. I am Ali Singer, a client partner on our automotive vertical here at Facebook. We are so excited to have you all with us here today and really appreciate you joining. Today, you're going to hear from our subject matter experts who will take you through our dynamic ad suite built specifically for the automotive vertical. You will also hear from a lead marketing agency within the automotive space on their experience with these tools and what kind of results they've been able to achieve. Now, more than ever, these tools are critical for your marketing teams to drive efficiencies, optimize your consumer experiences, and future-proof your business in this new digital advertising landscape. If you have any questions as we go through the content, please type them into the chat bot, and we will do our best to answer them during the live Q&A. And with that, let's dive right in. So first, we're going to cover off on an introduction to machine learning and dynamic ads. After this, we will deep dive into each one of the specific dynamic options so that you can understand how they best fit into your current strategy. If we go to the next slide, today, we see the biggest opportunity in automotive is selling cars online. And if you wonder how we know that, it's because when you take a look at projections, the fastest growing opportunity is really within the automotive sector online. By 2035, we expect to see 1 out of every 3 vehicle sales completed online. And so if we go to the next slide, what we want to understand is if we take this a step further and look at consumer preferences, even they are also shifting towards online as a viable way to purchase a new vehicle. If you take a look at the segment specifically of new car intenders and under 40, they both are higher than 1 out of every 2 people who are shifting towards online as this way for themselves to purchase a vehicle. And if we go to the next slide, while they are becoming more comfortable buying cars online, they do expect this e-commerce experience to be personalized, similar to what they've been used to within retail, CPG, and many other categories. And so if we go to the next slide, we also see that they have a comfort level in evaluating vehicles online. This means it's even more critical to bring your information to the forefront around models, inventories, and offers. Over 70% of people say that they are comfortable understanding all of the options and features available without even entering a dealership. And so knowing all of this, how are we going to meet these consumer demands? And what can we do as a partner to help you improve the relationship that you have with your customers? So the real answer to this, and what we are going to be covering today on the next slide, is curation through automation. We know that Facebook is the discovery engine, and it's fueled by machine learning. We can help you to connect your message to future intenders if we take advantage of everything that the platform has to offer within these capabilities. And so if we go to the next slide, what we really mean by this is how do we enable discovery within catalog-based solutions? These catalogs enable you to use both dynamic and commerce solutions. And today we're focusing on automotive ads, but many of you also might be familiar with shops and with marketplace. And by using these catalogs, we can structure data and use this machine learning power to really execute one-to-one personalization across all of these solutions. And so when we think about automotive ads, if we go to the next slide, there's really 3 major opportunities within them that all of the different options cover off on. One is they're personalized. We just said that people are looking for personalized experience within this online shopping experience they all have. Second is they're automated. We know how much time it takes to get everything up and running. So how wonderful would it be to set up one campaign and have the rest flow through seamlessly? And then third is performance, probably the most important word for each of this, especially in this new day and age post-pandemic. All of these solutions are optimized to drive maximum results within automotive for you and your business. And so quickly, we're going to run through each one of these so you have an idea of what they look like before we dive in. First is our automotive model ads. Those will dynamically show the most compelling models to the right audience. Now, if we take that a step further and say, great, they're exposed to the models. Now, how do we dynamically show the most compelling offer to the right audience to get them a little further down that funnel? And then finally, we've shown them the model, we've shown them the offer, but now how do we actually expose them to the inventory available so that they can finalize their purchase process? And so with that, I'm going to pass it on to Victor and Dara to cover off on our first dynamic automotive ad, which is automotive model ads.
Awesome. Thank you, Ali, and hello, everyone. My name is Victor, one of your friendly Facebook Client Solutions managers, and I'm here with my partner, CSM Dara, to present an overview of the Facebook Automotive Model Ads Beta, also known as AMA, which is a simple dynamic ad solution that focuses on delivering relevant ads to near market shoppers with the models that they're considering. So we know that across the tiers, supporting multiple models all year round is no easy feat. Some of you may have full teams dedicated to the setup and implementation of campaigns month over month, initiative after initiative. However, I'm sure many others do not even have the resources to even do so and forego the ability to have multi-model level support. So we've heard your feedback loud and clear and are excited to introduce an easier way to allow for support of multiple automotive models at any given time through the use of a single model catalog. So we're introducing Facebook's Automotive Model Ads Beta, also known as AMA, because we love our acronyms here. And AMA is enabling auto advertisers the ability to promote multiple models over the course of the year, delivering personalized and relevant ads based on signals of intent from your respective automotive sites, and leveraging those signals to prospect for and capture new signals of shopping intent at scale, all with just a pixel and a catalog. Here's an example of how traditional Facebook auto campaigns have been set up. You have your campaign at the model level supports, and then you may have different target audiences segmented at the ad set level. And then lastly, there could be a handful of creative assets available for support for the different models the different trim levels that they come in. After the setup, you're likely to repeat this again and again and again for each different model that's being supported. And while different initiatives may have different goals and KPIs where a unique setup is required, there should be an easier way to sustain an always-on multi-model level support. So here comes Facebook's Automotive Ads Beta. Consolidates the previous multi-campaign setup into one single campaign, where model level information and details all live within a single catalog that is supported by one ad, delivering the right message to the right person based on the shopping signals being passed back when visiting your respective automotive sites. Facebook algorithms assess which people are best to show which models to, and at the same time utilize the signals being passed back to help you model and prospect for near market shoppers up funnel at scale. This allows your ads to stay top of mind for those who are considering a new vehicle, and at the same time for those who have not decided on a specific vehicle brand or model yet. So without getting too deep into the weeds, let's focus on 3 key questions in the next few slides. When would I use AMA? How does AMA work? And what are the benefits? So for the question, when would I use AMA? This can have a very different answer depending on your marketing objective. For OEMs, it's to promote always-on model level support throughout the year without having to reset up campaigns month over month. And it's also to prospect and capture shopping intent, delivering relevant ads to near market shoppers leading up to a sales event period. For digital retailers, it's to promote models based on your client's business objectives. For example, in the current market chip shortage climate, inventory levels may differ by region or market. AMA allows the ability to adjust supported models for all-inclusive within the all-inclusive catalog without having to repeat the build of multiple campaigns for each model. So you can easily turn things on and off. Next question is, how does AMA work? So AMA is powered by 2 key components. The first one is your Facebook pixel. It is what captures on-site information connecting the relationship between someone who has seen an ad on Facebook and the actions that that person takes on your site and vice versa. The second component is the model catalog. This is where details are stored for all supported models. This includes information such as make, model, color, trim, so on and so forth. We'll demonstrate a sample catalog in a few slides down. The pixel will help you to identify in-market shoppers coming to your site and what specific models they are shopping for. The signals is referenced back to the model catalog, where all model level details are stored, and delivers the relevant model ad to that individual on Facebook, as well as prospecting for similar audiences at scale to whom the ads will be relevant. Facebook determines the most relevant auto model ad to show across a scaled audience, and performance should be assessed based on predetermined goals and objectives for the campaign. And this could be site traffic, online conversions, leads, so on and so forth. Lastly, we'll go over the benefits. So the very first benefit is to reach in-market shoppers. There are times when we assume the soccer mom or dad will want an SUV or minivan, but what if they have two already? Or maybe the young professional wants the sports car, but he prefers safety above all else. Take the guesswork out of marketing by automating ad delivery that is both relevant and personalized on what in-market shoppers have searched for on your site. Next is to free up time. It's to reduce operational campaign setup by having one ad to support multiple models year-round, minimizing repeat setup. So automation plus signals equals efficient performance. Once the AMA catalog has been built, it's as easy as setting the campaign live and watching it perform. Next is to deliver efficient performance. The goal of advertisers should be to deliver maximum performance at the most efficient cost while making the most out of your media spend. Test for performance improvements against key metrics such as lead quantity and cost per lead to assess the adoption of AMA. And lastly, it's the ease of implementation. AMA requires limited lift, only trim and model level details for onboarding of the catalog. So next, I'll pass it over to my partner, Dara, who will deep dive into how to set up for AMA.
Thanks so much, Victor. As you mentioned, my name is Dara, and I am a CSM on the auto vertical at Facebook. Now that we have discussed the overview of how automotive model ads work and the product benefits, let's get into what it requires to set up AMA in the platform. Because automotive model ads is still a beta product, the first step to getting started is to talk to your Facebook representative to gain access and sign all the necessary paperwork. Once this is complete, you will begin by setting up your Facebook pixel on your website if you haven't done so already, where website signals are used to help deliver a personalized ad featuring the right model based on preference from the buyer. Additional parameters and standard events will need to be set up to help inform which model site visitors are looking at. It's best to work with your Facebook representative or web developer to ensure that the correct parameters are being passed through the pixel, as these identifiers are used to match the model variation with the line item in your AMA catalog. The next step is setting up your catalog. A catalog is a list of the vehicle models that you're advertising. It contains information and links to images and destination page URLs for each model variation you want to advertise. You can set up your catalog as a data file in CSV, TSV, or XML format. If you prefer, you can also use Google Sheets. It's best to start simple if it's your first time using AMA. You don't need to have an entry for every configuration of vehicle, but do make sure you have an entry of the full range of models. We'll get into the specific required fields for your catalog in the next slide. Once all three are completed, you're ready to start testing. You can either use the catalog sales objective or the website conversion objective. We are currently testing both objectives to understand which provides the best performance. We do recommend setting up comparison studies to measure how AMA compares to your business as usual strategy. Now let's talk about what goes into an AMA catalog. First is an ID. This is the unique identifier to match against the content ID you will implement in the pixel. Then you'll need to enter the required fields, which are details about the vehicle model, including title, price, make, model, year, and description. You can use these fields in the ad copy that appear alongside your ads. They must be populated in your catalog, but you can pick and choose which fields you display in the ad copy. Next are going to be the links. You'll need to provide links to the destination page URL for your ads, as well as the links to the image or the images you wish to display in the ad. If you are used to running automotive inventory ads, automotive model ads have a similar catalog setup, with the exception of AMA not requiring a VIN. You can work with your Facebook representative to ensure that additional catalog fields are not needed here. Now that we've covered how to successfully set up an automotive model ads campaign, let's recap the power of AMA as part of your automotive strategy. Automotive model ads are dynamically relevant because it is a product that shows ads across multiple supported models to people that are exhibiting a strong auto interest based on shopping behavior with a single campaign powered by machine learning. The beauty of this product is that it is low maintenance setup where model level details like trim and color live within a single product catalog. This allows advertisers to reach in-market shoppers and prospective in-market shoppers with the right models at the right time of year, saving you time because you don't have to configure each individual ad for each model. Similar to other dynamic ad products for autos, automotive model ads reach people dynamically with ads on any device they use, regardless of their original touch point. Most importantly, Facebook's auto ads have proven to be an efficient performer in the automotive strategy. Participation in the AMA beta will allow advertisers to test for performance improvements against the key metrics that matter the most, such as lead quantity and cost per lead. If you are interested in learning more about AMA and participating in the beta, talk to your Facebook representative now to get started. Next, I will pass it over to Becca and Darian to discuss automotive offer ads.
Great, thank you, Dara. Hi, everyone. As Dara mentioned, we're now going to get into the automotive offer ads deep dive. My name is Becca, and I'm a client solutions manager here on Team Auto at Facebook, and I'm also joined by Darian, who is another CSM on the auto team. Today, we're going to go over what automotive offer ads are, also known as AOA, the benefits of AOA, how to set up AOA and what is needed to do so, and lastly, why offer ads are an important part of your campaign strategy. Automotive offer ads are dynamic ads optimized to deliver legally compliant offers at scale to relevant customers who may be in market for a vehicle. We understand that regions many times have different offers in market that are constantly changing, making the manual creation of ads challenging and not scalable. With AOA, advertisers can dynamically serve the most relevant offer to an auto shopper based on their intent signals. These offers are able to be dynamically served through a catalog of offers and incentives as an advertiser creates and shares to Facebook. This is where information like special financing or cashback would be included. Then Facebook uses intent signals like visits to your website or their activity on Facebook to identify potential buyers. You could even leverage AOA for prospecting by reaching auto intenders who have not yet been to your site. It all comes together when Facebook pairs the best model and the best offer to deliver a compelling ad that encourages that potential buyer to take action. Example actions could be filling out a lead form or going to your site to search available inventory. Darian will get into the setup for AOA a bit deeper in just a few slides. Knowing there is oftentimes a disclosure that comes with offers and incentives, we offer the ability to include a disclaimer on the ad unit to include legal language that may be required. It's important to note that this disclaimer is optional and is one click away from the ad itself. Facebook feed, Instagram Explore, and Instagram Stories are all placements that support this one-click disclaimer. Now let's jump into the benefits of incorporating AOA in your campaign strategies. As Ali showed earlier, 57% of new car intenders find it realistic to buy a car completely over the internet. So now more than ever, it's important to reach people where they are and bring the car buying experience online. Automotive offer ads are a great way to be top of mind as potential buyers are in the discovery and consideration phases. These personalized offer ads help automakers and dealers reach more car shoppers with the most relevant offers and models. Leveraging our powerful targeting capabilities allows you to efficiently reach car shoppers and move them down the purchase funnel. Knowing inventory levels and incentives are always changing, it is not scalable to create and manage separate ads for every single offer and market. The automation of offer ads enables brands and dealers to not only show relevant offers, but also to incorporate unique creative messaging and disclaimers without having to configure each ad individually. We also simplified the compliance process so you can incorporate the disclosure of important legal information at scale. The one-click disclaimer we showed earlier is incorporated in the same feed as the offers themselves, so you don't need to manage it separately. It is likely not news to this group that the advertising ecosystem is evolving to meet customer expectations around privacy and personalized ads. As a result, web browsers are limiting and/or blocking the usage of cookies. With this in mind, Facebook is building tools like Conversions API, also known as CAPI, to reduce the reliance on cookies while still enabling personalized ads. We are also building signals resiliency into our automotive ad products. For AOA specifically, we've enabled the ability to generate leads directly from offer ads. And AOA is also compatible with offline conversions, so you can measure sales performance directly and calculate the true ROI of your campaign. Now I'm going to pass it off to Darian.
Hi everyone, my name is Darian, CSM on Team Auto. In the next section, we'll be walking through the components needed in order to properly set up automotive offer ads. There are 5 components in order to set up AOA. First is your catalog. The catalog is the hub of all the specific offer information that you wish to advertise for. Second is the offer feed. The offer feed is the method in which you use to upload offers into your catalog. Third is your pixel. This is your Facebook pixel that will capture signals from your website as well as other entities in order to best determine the most relevant offer for any specific consumer. Fourth is the ads themselves. Once the pixel and the catalog are set up and ready to go, advertisers can start building AOA campaigns and ads within Ads Manager. And lastly, and this is optional, advertisers can 100% leverage one of our approved marketing partners to help assist you in any of the previous components in order to set up. If we move to the next slide, here's an example of what your offers feed will look like. We do require specific information about your offers in order to ensure that we're delivering the most relevant offer at any given moment. We require information such as offer ID, make, model, year, offer types such as lease, APR, or maybe cash, offer title, and your full offer description. The amazing part of any of these components is that you could directly input them into your ads so that you don't have to manually type out any of your ad copy. You could use any of this information. Again, you can create the feed through the API, meaning it's backend integration from your website, or if you have an offers API, or you can manually build out the feed. After the setup is ready to go for AOA, we want to ensure that you follow our best practices to make sure that your campaigns are performing at their highest level. First is to truly simplify your campaign or targeting structure as much as possible. We've talked a lot about machine learning today, and this really allows you to use the algorithm to deliver offer-based ads based on signal, and that will properly show the correct offer. Secondly, is to properly set up your pixel to send as much information to our system as possible. Without this data, AOA cannot make the right decisions in real time in order to properly show the most relevant offer. Next is to leverage all of your available offers for any given time frame. This is because someone may be interested in a cash offer, but if you don't have a cash offer within your feed, we cannot deliver that relevant offer for that specific consumer. And then lastly is to test small. Start in a few markets, maybe your key markets, to best determine your setup and targeting for your AOA campaigns. And then after that test concludes, you can scale this advanced strategy into more markets or even across the nation. We also recommend to implement offline sales as a measurement component to AOA to help close the loop on that measurement solution to see how AOA is performing. Our next section dives into why AOA is a crucial part of your overall automotive strategy. AOA is an extremely powerful tool to help automotive advertisers deliver their offers in an extremely efficient manner. First, AOA is dynamically relevant, such as the other products that we've talked about today. They can be an always-on evergreen strategy. They allow you to promote your offers at scale. They are legally compliant with our one-click disclaimer. They deliver across devices, and they also can be a setup and go strategy. Promoting offers at scale has been a long time barrier for our automotive advertisers, even discouraging some automotive advertisers from advertising offers in the first place because of the inability to add in offers in a timely fashion. So what we have done is we've seen media teams really save an exponential amount of time in their operations setting up all of these ads. So we implemented AOA so that they could get their offers in the market in the time frame that the offers are relevant within. Lastly, I want to focus in on one-click disclaimers because these one-click disclaimers are directly on the ads themselves, and they'll display the offer disclaimer information straight within our Facebook and Instagram apps. They don't have to go off to a terms and conditions page. They can do so directly within our apps. So overall, we have really tried to build this product to adhere to all of the needs of our automotive advertisers. Lastly, we have some takeaway resources for your team to check out. In the takeaways today, you will receive a AOA one-sheeter that contains all of these different resources and information on how to set up AOA, the placement delivery information for AOA, and any developer documentation that you may need. I truly appreciate your time today. I'm gonna pass it off to Mimi, who's gonna walk through automotive inventory ads.
Thanks so much, Darian. Y'all, I'm ready to walk you through some automotive inventory ads. My name is Mimi Mendenhall, and I'm a Client Solutions Manager on our local automotive team. Automotive inventory ads may be the most familiar of the automotive ads that you are used to using. If we look at the next slide, you'll see a bit of a repeat of what Ali showed at the beginning. The whole point of our automotive inventory ads is that they're personalized. We're making sure that we're delivering the right vehicle to the right person at the right time. They're automated, so we're going to set up one campaign and show all of your inventory. We like to say that you set it and you forget it. It's an always-on strategy to power inventory management and making sure that you're getting those vehicles off the lot at your dealership. And performance is optimized for automotive. We want to make sure we're driving the maximum results by delivering your inventory to an actual in-market shopper on our platform. Next slide, please. Victor walked through this build a minute ago, but automotive inventory ads, I want to remind, especially as we get to the inventory levels, those actual pieces of inventory on your lot, you have a catalog of all of that already that's feeding your dealership website. What we have are the people. Facebook's an authentic identity platform, and we want to match your inventory with our people and make sure that we are showing them those correct vehicles that they're most interested in at the time when they're actually shopping. So all of this brings together your vehicles, our people, the right time, the right place to make sure that you're getting those vehicles sold and off your lot. As we continue to look at automotive inventory ads, we want to make sure that you know that this encompasses everybody that's shopping. This is the retargeting audience that's actually done on your website, but it's also prospecting and conquesting. All in one campaign, all in one setup, you can reach everybody that's in your target market that's on Facebook actively shopping. So someone's in your target audience, they're browsing on Facebook Marketplace, they're browsing on the web. If they're ready and they're in market and they're showing us those signals, we're going to show them a vehicle based on what they've been looking at, even if they've never been to your dealership website. But if they have been to your website, that retargeting will make sure we pull those vehicles they were already looking at and show it to them on Facebook. Next slide. There's a couple things to kind of debunk when we talk about automotive inventory ads. Those of y'all who may have been running these for a while may remember DPA or DA, dynamic ads. But if you were running that in the past and you think it's the same solution as automotive inventory ads, there's a lot missing. The real difference here is the only way to make sure that Facebook knows that what you're selling is a vehicle is to make sure that you're using automotive inventory ads, because they take in that actual automotive signal. The make, the model, your new, your used, all those things that are important about what a person is shopping for and what is relevant inventory for them. It also factors in location. Location is so important when we're selling something off the lot versus our dynamic ad solution that's used for more e-com businesses where it doesn't really matter where you're located. When you think about your targeting and signal and performance benefiting competitors, we're not sharing that data at all. Every pixel comes in to feed signals across the board, but we have so many more signals on site about what a person is interacting with, about what they're shopping with for vehicles on Marketplace. And all of those signals come together to create this in-market shopper audience of all of your shoppers on Facebook. And finally, if you don't think you have the technical resources to set up AIA, because there is some dev work required in the beginning, you can work with one of our technical service partners to help you get up and running. And once you get going, it's really an always on product that you're not going to have to monitor too much, as it's going to update from your inventory feed. Next slide. Awesome. So AIA setup, there's a lot of steps on here, right? You need to set up a catalog. You have that data feed. So again, this is your inventory feed, wherever you're getting it from for your website. You schedule the uploads to make sure that we're regularly getting the required inventory that you have on your lot and making sure that if something goes off lot, it's no longer in the catalog we show on Facebook. You also need to set up events in a Facebook pixel. This pixel will fire back from your website to make sure that we're matching the right people with the right vehicles. You associate those two together, you create a campaign, and you are on your way, always on to delivering the right inventory to your shoppers. Next slide, please. So there's a lot of things on this slide for what to expect moving forward. Expect, if you haven't done this already, there's going to be some dev work. Make sure you know who your third-party feed provider is so you know where you're getting that data from to set up the catalog. Make sure you're working with your website provider to ensure the pixel is on the site and that it's firing correctly and matching to your inventory. And make sure that you understand where you're going to take all of this inbound leads and all of this inbound traffic. Is your CRM infrastructure set up? Is your in-house BDC set up? Are you ready to take in the leads and the messages that are going to come to you from delivering on Facebook? And make sure those video or your images are great. We want high quality images, which I'm sure you already have on your website already, but those will go straight into your inventory feed and to exactly what we're going to see on Facebook. Next slide, please. And troubleshooting. There's definitely ways to make sure that everything is firing correctly. We have Catalog Manager to make sure that you see if there's any errors in your catalog. If you don't have enough photos, if there's different pieces that aren't matching correctly, you can go to Catalog Manager to troubleshoot. And your pixel needs to be working correctly when you're delivering to the website. So make sure that your pixel is firing correctly using Events Manager. Using all of these will make sure that you're set up for a smooth and successful campaign and that you are not having any downtime with having your ads actively running and delivering to your shoppers. Automotive inventory feed example. So there's a lot of stuff in here, but really this is just to show again why this is so different from the dynamic ads piece. Dynamic ads really is just a very basic content ID and content type, and that's it. Automotive understands that it's a car. If you want us to understand that your shopper is an in-market shopper for a vehicle and that what you have is the vehicle they want, we need as many of these fields as possible. Some are required and some are recommended, but you want to fill this out as completely as possible from your feed to our catalog to make sure we're delivering very relevant vehicles to the people in the location where your dealership is located. Next slide, please. So from here, we go to the on Facebook destination. So last year, we launched what we call in our list of acronyms, OFB AIA, on Facebook Automotive Inventory Ads. The inventory ads that we're speaking about previously are delivering to your website. When someone clicks on an ad, they're landing on your dealership VDP and they're able to interact with those vehicles on your website. We know a lot of times dealer sites aren't necessarily mobile optimized. So we want to make sure that we are landing them somewhere that is going to be quick loading, it's going to reduce bounce rates, and it's going to reduce friction. On Facebook AIA really is our solve for this. As soon as someone clicks on your ad, which again is that relevant piece of inventory based on their browsing and based on their shopping habits, we are going to land them on a marketplace vehicle details page. It's going to look just like what you have on your website. You're going to have your photos, You're going to have your address, your directions, all of the information about that vehicle, but it's going to automatically load in Facebook, reduce any of that bounce time, and reduce a lot of the friction that can happen when we're talking about mobile shopping for vehicles. Next slide, please. We want you to really discover the power of an on Facebook shopping experience. Again, it's Facebook and we're a real authentic identity platform. So there's so much personalization. We understand what that person's shopping for. And that's why we want to match your catalog with our in-market shoppers. It's highly efficient because we have so many different platforms on which to deliver this, whether it's Facebook or Instagram or in Marketplace. So we want to make sure that we're reaching people at the most efficient spot anytime they're on one of our Facebook platforms. It's mobile optimized. We deliver so much of our advertising to mobile. We want to make sure that we provide that frictionless shopping experience that makes the entire thing seamless, because making the shopping experience seamless for your buyers is just going to make it a much better performance, and it's going to make it so that they want to come back to you the next time they're shopping. We want to future-proof. You've heard throughout the presentation today about the changes to the digital advertising structure and what's going on with a lot of this signal resilience and loss of signal. This is going to help to future-proof, because when you stay on Facebook, from the moment you create your ad to a shopper clicking on it, to going to your marketplace VDP, to actually clicking to message your dealership, that is all on Facebook. We have a seamless experience and we're able to track it every bit of the way. So you're getting as much information as possible about those shoppers and about that campaign. And then retargeting. So AIA is going to encourage you to use, we encourage you to use broad audiences. Again, that's your prospecting, conquesting, and retargeting all in one. But when you're actually landing someone on your marketplace VDPs, you can create retargeting audiences for other campaigns, people that landed on those VDPs, people that initiated a message with your dealership, and people that may have submitted a lead if that's how you choose to contact. So all of this comes together to provide a seamless experience that we're fully able to track and measure on Facebook that's very signal resilient for your dealership. Next slide, please. So we want you to convert these prospects to qualified leads in real time. Usually you get a lead and you're following up with it later. That's not how your consumer necessarily wants to work. If I see a vehicle and I'm interested and I want to message and have that conversation right now. I want to have it while I'm thinking of shopping and while I'm in the moment. So what this allows you to do is have those relevant vehicles on your mobile experience on Facebook Marketplace on those VDPs. When someone clicks on the ad, they land there. They're going to see the ability to click to call if they're on a phone. And then depending how you set it up, they can either click to message or submit a lead there real time. If they submit a message, they can automatically be connected with your in-house BDC, have that conversation right then. That is the start, not someone coming to your lot. That start is now somebody on their phone, seeing a relevant piece of inventory and wanting to grab it while it's still available and have that conversation right now. And we want to meet those shoppers where they're at. Next, please. So a few things about on Facebook. You're going to get premium marketplace spots when you use automatic placements. There's a couple more places you can deliver on marketplace that is not available to any other ad on Facebook. It is only if you're running AIA with an on Facebook destination, which allows you to get more impressions, more reach, and increase your efficiency. You're going to have that on Facebook VDP, mobile optimized. It's going to load quickly and it's going to be easy to interact with. And then depending on what you want to do when you're setting up your campaign, you can either link directly through Facebook Messenger for conversations, or you can have them submit a lead form that you can follow up with. And just a couple of stats, we've been running on Facebook destinations for over a year now. We see almost 70% lower cost per lead versus a website destination. So versus the same product AIA landing on your website versus landing on Facebook Marketplace. We see almost a 20% lower cost per VDP, and you're seeing 3 times more impressions and double the reach. So you're getting these increased amount of reach to everyone. And then we can measure these online metrics, but we definitely encourage you to also map back your offline events and your offline sales to measure it to these campaigns too, because you will see that when you're reaching those people where they're at and it's a frictionless experience, you're going to see that correlation in the actual sales off your lot. Next slide, please. And again, you can retarget Facebook shoppers. So you want to make sure that if people are using your on Facebook and they are landing on your actual VDPs or interacting with those VDPs and messaging, that we can actually maybe deliver them a different campaign with a more concentrated message because we know of their interest. And you can create those on Facebook and use those use those audiences to run further campaigns. Next slide, please. So a couple main things to hit here. So you'll see website destination versus on Facebook destination on this chart. One big thing that's different about on Facebook destination is we don't require a pixel because you never leave the Facebook site. There's no requirement to have that pixel to actually drive automotive inventory ads, which is just one less step in getting you ready and getting you up and running with automotive inventory ads. We want to make sure that you're using one catalog per dealership. So if you're a dealer group that runs multiple different dealerships, we want to make sure that you have an individual catalog so that you're really focusing on that inventory for each specific location. And you're also going to have those exclusive spots on Marketplace vehicle feed and consumer listings. So we're just expanding your reach to a place that no one else can deliver except someone running on Facebook AIA. Next slide, please. And now we're going to walk through a quick success story for Larry H. Miller. This was ran by Saxton Horn Communications, an agency that is specialized in dealer marketing, which we'll be bringing up in just a moment. They were testing exactly what we just looked at, landing on the website versus landing on Facebook Marketplace VDPs. They saw 4 times more impressions, a reduction in cost per view, and they actually matched those to offline sales, which we encourage everyone to do to really measure your performance with these ads. And 40% of those we saw influenced by an on Facebook AIA ad. So someone actually on there running on Facebook and landing on Facebook. We can see those influence sales when we start measuring back to those offline events. Next slide. And I'm going to read one quote of the ability to use the on Facebook destination as a way to showcase automobiles is a game changer. And that is from our very own Spencer Beckstead, who I'm going to bring up with me right now. He's a senior vice president with Saxton Horn Communications, who ran this case study in partnership with us last year. Hey, Spencer.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm well, thank you.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. We just want to start off with a little bit about yourself and Saxton Horn and just tell us a little bit.
Yeah, my name is Spencer Beckstead. I am the Senior Vice President here at Saxton Horn. My role and responsibility is to oversee the day-to-day operations for all of our advertising practice, which rolls up into 5 different departments of account service, project management, media, creative, and research and analytics. Our main automotive client is the Larry H. Miller Automotive Group, which is the 8th largest group in the country. They operate 63 rooftops in 7 states, representing all of the major brands.
Fantastic. And y'all were one of our very first testers. So I work very closely with Spencer and his team at Saxton, and they were one of the first in our alphas and betas to test on Facebook AIA. So can you tell us a little bit more about the test and the success you saw there?
Absolutely. So our we have a dedicated media team that works kind of try to be on that bleeding edge. And we were trying to ask the question of which is better, staying on platform or staying to our website. And we split it out. We were seeing some of the results initially that was positive, and they said, look, let's see what we keep on platform, knowing that Messenger was a preferred method of communication and wanting people to make it ease of use. We said, let's put our money where our mouth is. And that's where this genesis started.
And so we started with only a few rooftops, but every single Larry H. Miller dealership is now running on Facebook AIA. Why is that? Why continue to expand off the initial test?
Results, bottom line. We are in an operating environment right now where we have to be precise with who we're talking to, and with limited inventory supply, particularly, it has to be the right vehicle at the right time and communicate with them in a manner that they want to be communicated with, not that's necessarily what we want to communicate with you. Hence why we keep on it. We're doubling down on it. It is absolutely a secret sauce for us prospecting and communicating with our customers.
Love to hear that. And on that, talking with consumers where they're at and staying on platform, you heard, I think, pretty much every presenter today talk about signal resilience. And it's a hot topic right now when we talk about digital marketing. So how does Saxton Horn think about that when designing your entire digital strategy? What is really top of mind and what do you focus on?
One of the strategies we deploy is a VIN specific strategy. Everything's centered around that particular VIN. I am now having roadblocks, if you will, where it prevents me from displaying that proper VIN to the proper consumer in the proper platform. So we made the choice to partner with the largest media group, being Facebook, and saying, okay, we're going to keep all the information on platform, keep it inside here until the rest of the internet figures out how we're going to play nice with each other, and quit arguing with what we can and can't do, and keep that VIN specific strategy. Because again, that is what the consumer wants. I want the vehicle now, I want it on my terms, and I want to be able to communicate in a way that is acceptable to me. So hence why we are doing this, and I'm trying to avoid this cookieless world coming at us.
Definitely coming at us fast. Last question for you today. So Saxton Horn, you've been at the front of a lot of our different product offerings. We do a lot of testing together, and we're really staying at the forefront. So what are your tips for other dealers and agencies listening? What are those best practices and things that you have to keep top of mind when you're thinking of your Facebook advertising?
I'm going to sum it up in a statement of blended roles don't equal good work. And I have a very trusted media team that are subject matter experts, and they are thinking through the whole funnel, and they're thinking how's the best way to attract customers, retain customers, and prospect for customers we don't even know exist, and allowing them to do what they do best versus adopting the paradigms that got you where you're at. Because changing the status quo is very, very hard, and we are in the middle of changing what is new. And these are the pilots and the programs that we need to kind of adopt as an automotive industry. These are what advertising agencies need to embrace, is there is not just a way to communicate, but there is the right way to communicate. And if you're going to, we all want an authentic identity, and we have authentic vehicles, authentic people, put them together, magic ensues.
I love it. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to join us today, Spencer. And then with the rest of the crew, I'm going to bring Allie back for our panel discussion. Thanks, Spencer.
Thank you, Mimi, and thank you, Spencer. Absolutely love hearing about these success stories, and it's really just great inspiration for us all as we think through the future of our partnerships. So that is a wrap on our content for today. Hopefully we've kept you all on your toes. I can tell you with the amount of questions rolling in, it seems like we have. So now is really the fun part, and it's time to hear from all of you. Thank you to all of you who have submitted interest areas ahead of time. We will make sure we cover off on all of those topics. For those of you who didn't send in topics, please feel free to continue typing questions into the chat bot. I know a lot of you have done this already, and we're really excited to chat through some of those. So we will jump right into the questions. And the first one is, how do I know when AOA versus AIA versus AMA is the right product for my client? Try saying that 5 times fast. Really, when we think about these 3 products, and I think all of our subject matter experts did an amazing job of really walking through the benefits and differences of each of them, it really depends on where you're thinking about using them in your strategy. So if we start with automotive model ads, since those are a dynamic ad that delivers models to people who may be in market, those are more mid-upper funnel opportunities that can also really be done at the tier 1 and tier 2 level, because they don't require any sort of VIN information. So this is really a great fit for your client who's looking to enhance their strategy a bit further up the funnel. When we think about automotive inventory ads, understanding that these are really the dynamic ads that are optimized for people who are in market for a vehicle, these are great to use when your client wants to reach in-market shoppers who are really close to the purchase. So, as Mimi just mentioned, awesome opportunity to get everything on the lot in there and really double down on how to move metal. And then finally, automotive offer ads are delivering those personalized and relevant offers to people who are in market, but still might be deciding between what fits best. And so this is a great fit for a client who is looking to find their interested buyers, get them a step closer to purchase. We've seen this used in tier 1. We've seen this used in tier 2. We've even seen some tier 3 use this. So that's really just dependent on the way that your client strategizes across the funnel, but a lot of great places for each of these to fit into your strategy. And then we also got a question that builds on this as we were presenting around the need to create new catalogs for AMA if you're already running dynamic inventory ads. So as everyone went through in their respective sections, there are slightly different fields required for each one of these dynamic products. And you will need to alter slightly, but if you do have all the information already to create dynamic inventory ads, chances are you will pretty easily be able to get that automotive model ad feed going as well. And so with that, we will move on to the next question, which is, what if I don't have all of the fields necessary to build a catalog? And with that, I'm going to pass it on to Mimi to shed some insight on this.
Thanks, Allie. So really what it breaks down to is, in order for these catalogs to run and to deliver correctly all of your different items, you need to make sure that you have at least the recommended fields. So we break it down into, the required fields. And so we break it down into required, recommended, and optional. So you want to make sure that you have those required. Those are going to be necessary. And then you try to get all the recommended as possible. Really, the more information you can give us, the better. So try to map as many fields as you can. And it's a little bit different between AMA, AIA, and AOA, depending on what they need to deliver and actually run. So you can check out our developer wiki, which will break down exactly what those are for every single different product.
Thanks, Mimi. And the beauty of this is, once you get it set up, you don't really have to go back. So we know it can be a little challenging, but hopefully if you need any assistance with those, please reach out to your respective teams and we would be more than happy to assist you. So moving on to the next question, what is the difference between a prospecting and a retargeting strategy for AMA? And I will pass this one off to Dara.
Thanks, Allie. So AMA prospecting and retargeting strategies operate in similar ways, like our other dynamic ads products, but use additional auto intent signals. So for AMA prospecting, this will enable advertisers to find those prospective customers, even if they haven't interacted with your business before. Whereas with AMA retargeting, this really enables advertisers to target people who have already interacted with your business on and off the Facebook platform. One thing to keep in mind for AMA prospecting, this will automatically include the retargeting audience. But if you do need to break this out, we do recommend excluding the retargeting audience from the prospecting ad set, just to reduce any audience overlap.
Thanks, Sarah. Now going to one of our favorite topics, who remembers ad limits or is still living them? So this is relevant to that, but we have a question around, how does automotive ads help reduce ad limits per page? And I will pass this one off to Victor.
So automotive ads is a dynamic product. When considering ad limits, campaigns using the auto ads will only count as one ad per ad set, given the ads are dynamically pulling from your catalog. So if historically you've been creating your campaigns with multiple ads, each of those ads count against your ad limit. But since you're pulling, our dynamic ads are pulling from a single catalog, you'll be able to consolidate, 10 images or 10 videos into one because it's pulling from that catalog.
Thanks, Victor. And this is something we're seeing a lot of clients do with success, especially those who are really up against some pretty difficult ad limit situations. This was a quick way to significantly reduce the amount they had running. And so on a similar trajectory, because we're thinking about how the ecosystem is changing and what it means and how this could benefit us, we have a question around how these dynamic products will function as we continue to lose more signal from third-party tech limitations. And this is very relevant in the world we're living in today. So I will pass that off to Mimi to walk us through her thoughts there.
Thanks, Allie. So we ended talking about on Facebook AIA. So if you're talking about your inventory ads, we have built that super signal resilient solution that's going to stay on there so we don't head to a third party. But AIA, AOA, and AMA are all built with lead ads as an option so that you don't actually have to leave platforms. So you have that signal resiliency of not having to leave the Facebook platform, and it's available for any three of the solutions we walked through today. And lastly, there's now the conversions API. So it's going to let you share key web and offline events directly from your server to match back to Facebook. So we're trying to make as many of these updates as we can as everything kind of updates in the ecosphere to make sure that you are as signal resilient as possible and that we're keeping as much stuff on platform to help you with that.
Wonderful. Thank you, Mimi. And Building on that, for those of you who might be thinking about testing into some of these products, there's a question around how to test business as usual strategy versus any of these products that we talked about today, which is a fantastic question. I'm sure it's going to be really relevant as well now that we've talked about these opportunities. So I will pass that off to Darian to walk us through how you can think about doing that.
Great, thanks, Allie. We do want to ensure that you test any of these dynamic ad offerings against your business as usual strategy. So that would be the standard ads that you manually build. So for example, we test automotive offer ads against your manual built offer ads. We want to ensure that the messaging is similar to create a more clean test environment. And you can do this directly within Ads Manager using the split test feature, or you could do it with a conversion lift split multi-cell tests to test the incrementality of your campaigns while keeping all other variables stable, such as targeting and creative. And then we'll measure the result against your dynamic ads versus your manually built standard ads. And your results will be determined by your primary KPIs, whether that be online or offline.
Great, thanks, Darian. And as you guys think about how you're going to integrate these products into your strategies and the best way to test, again, please reach out to your dedicated Facebook teams, and we'd be more than happy to walk through, because I'm sure there are some nuances depending on what you're each doing. So on the same trajectory, we were just talking about how we test versus your business as usual campaigns. There was a question around how we recommend including AOA in business as usual campaigns, whether they should have their own campaigns, ad sets, ads, and what that might look like. So I will pass that off to Becca to walk us through that.
Great. That's a great question. And the answer is there's actually a lot of flexibility in how these can be set up. So we're going to kind of pass it back to you as the advertisers to figure out what makes the most sense for your business. If you guys have, specific budgets for every single model, then you could set up separate AOA for each model, and you could do that at the campaign level so that you don't go over what those budgets are. I would encourage you to keep CBO or campaign budget optimization in mind. If you do not have those restrictions by model or even by region that you need to be following, I would recommend that you actually leverage CBO and let those ad sets dynamically optimize between them and have the fluid budgets.
Great, thank you, Becca. So I know we are almost at time. It is crazy how many questions we've had flow in, and we will make sure we get back to you on all of those if your questions were not answered at this time. But that is all of the time we have today. So we really want to thank you all for setting aside the time to learn with our teams. We know that you all have nonstop schedules and really hope you found this content to be useful and insightful. We will be making a video recording of this event available for viewing on demand. You will all get an email with a link to this recording on our event page, as well as additional resources to help you get up and running with these tools. We are also going to be sending out a survey in that email, and our favorite line here at Facebook is feedback is a gift. So please take the time to fill it out so we can continually improve and better serve all of you. If you have any follow-up questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to your Facebook teams for additional assistance. And again, thank you so much for joining us today, for your continued partnerships. And it is time to get this dynamic party started. We will see you all again soon.